The term Vikings originates from the Old Norse word meaning pirates or raiders, and the Viking Age, spanning from 700 to 1100 AD, is renowned for its warriors' aggressive and often bloodthirsty nature. Among the most famous Viking warriors is the semi-legendary sea king Ragnar Lothbrok, who purportedly led raids along the coast of England. However, much of what is believed about Ragnar Lothbrok is shrouded in ambiguity. Many, if not all, of his exploits are steeped in myth, with his life largely transitioning into legend perpetuated by medieval European literature, such as the Icelandic sagas. While these sagas were inspired by real individuals and events, they are also embellished and partially fabricated. Ragnar Lothbrok's numerous raids on Frankish, Anglo-Saxon England and Iceland in the 9th century cemented his prominent role in Viking lore. Yet the challenge remains: what can be discerned as historical fact from the realm of fiction when it comes to Ragnar Lothbrok? Legends suggest that Lothbrok was born to a Swedish king, Sigurd Hring, and a Norwegian princess. However, as the Vikings did not maintain written records of their history during that era, much of what is known about Ragnar Lothbrok is derived from Icelandic sagas written centuries after his time. This lack of contemporary documentation has led to debate and skepticism among historians regarding his actual existence. Some argue that the tales of Lothbrok may have been amalgamated from various historical figures, woven into one heroic narrative centered around the figure of Ragnar. While the Icelandic sagas may contain elements of truth about Lothbrok's life, distinguishing fact from fiction can be challenging. Certain fantastical elements in these stories, such as Lothbrok's feats of strangling a bear or battling a giant snake often depicted as a dragon, are more obviously mythical than others. While evidence regarding Ragnar Lothbrok is limited, a few references do exist in literature from the time, albeit sparingly. The primary source detailing Lothbrok's life and heroic exploits is the 13th century Icelandic work, the Saga of Ragnar Lothbrok. Additional sagas mentioning him include Heimskringla, Sögubrot, Tale of Ragnar's Sons, and Hervarar Saga. This narrative tradition initially began orally, before being transcribed to preserve and disseminate these tales. Interestingly, Lothbrok is also mentioned in the Danish document Gesta Danorum, compiled by the historian Saxo Grammaticus, which includes both historical information and legends, such as his marriages to Lagertha and Thora. Unlike the Icelandic sagas, Gesta Danorum provides a relatively accurate geographic breakdown of Viking rule. One significant piece of evidence supporting Lothbrok's existence as a historical figure comes from the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, a 9th century English document considered generally reliable. This chronicle contains two references to a prominent Viking raider in 840 AD, identified as Ragnall and Reginherus, both widely believed to refer to Lothbrok. The fact that Lothbrok is mentioned by name in historical documents outside Viking culture at the time helps corroborate his existence and activities, albeit to a limited extent. It is widely accepted that Ragnar Lothbrok married at least 3 women. His first wife, Lagertha, was a Nordic shield maiden who fought alongside Lothbrok as warriors in Norway while he sought vengeance for his grandfather Fro's death. Despite purportedly defending her home with a hound and a bear against Lothbrok's advances, Lagertha eventually became his wife. According to Viking legend, Lothbrok had to defeat a giant snake to win the hand of his second wife, Thora. His third wife, Aslaug, was believed to be the daughter of the legendary dragon slayer Sigurd and shield maiden Brynhilda. During their courtship, Lothbrok presented Aslaug with a riddle, and upon hearing her clever response, he promptly proposed to her. It is speculated that the stories of Ragnar's wives may have originated from attempts to merge 3 distinct legends. Danish historical records also mention a potential 4th wife named Swanloga. This stems from the story of Lothbrok supposedly boiling his trousers made of cowhide in tar, a practice he believed protected him from the snake, or dragon as some sources suggest, while he was winning the hand of his second wife, Thora, in marriage. While verifying the fantastic tales surrounding Lothbrok poses challenges, there is substantial evidence supporting the authenticity of his sons as historical figures. Indeed, more evidence exists regarding the sons' existence and activities than that of Lothbrok himself, with many living in the same regions and time periods as the references made about them. The sons asserted their direct lineage from Lothbrok, providing additional historical context to their father. For instance, a Viking warrior named Bjorn, likely Bjorn Ironside, renowned as a skilled naval commander, led raids around Paris in 857–59. Additionally, Ivar the Boneless and Ubbe were prominent leaders of the Great Heathen Army, with Ivar recorded as dying in Dublin in 873, and Ubbe killed in battle in Devon in 878. Alongside Halfdan Ragnarsson, all these figures are confirmed historical figures, with accounts from conquered peoples corroborating their existence and activities. Norman historian William of Jumiages referenced Bjorn Ironside in 1070 and mentioned a Danish king named Lothbrok as Bjorn's father. Similarly, chronicler Adam of Bremen later described Ivar, labelled as the cruelest of Norse warriors, as another son of Lothbrok. However, it remains uncertain whether these references pertain to the same Ragnar Lothbrok. The first documented instance linking the names Ragnar and Lothbrok was by Icelandic scholar Ari Thorgilsson, writing between 1120–1133, who claimed that Ivar, son of Ragnar Lothbrok, was responsible for killing Edmund of East Anglia. Other Vikings who claimed to be sons of Lothbrok included Hvitserk, Friedleif, Halfdan Ragnarsson and Sigurd Snake in the Eye. Establishing their actual blood relation to Lothbrok proves challenging, especially as warriors of the time often claimed lineage to legendary figures to elevate their status. Additionally, Viking men sometimes adopted younger individuals as successors. Lothbrok himself purported to be a direct descendant of Odin. Similar to his fellow Vikings, various sources highlight how Lothbrok employed tactics reminiscent of blitzkrieg. These tactics instilled fear, sapped morale, and swiftly overwhelmed his adversaries before they could muster a formidable defense. Additionally, he strategically chose to engage in combat only when the odds were stacked in his favor. One potential inspiration for the character of Ragnar Lothbrok is a Danish Viking leader known as Regin Heri. According to accounts, Regin Heri led raids along the coasts of France, including a notable siege of Paris in 845. During this siege, King Charles the Bald positioned his army on both sides of the River Seine. Ragnar Lothbrok, or Regin Heri, cleverly targeted and attacked the smaller of the two armies, decimating it in full view of their comrades. Facing more pressing concerns, the Franks sought to avoid further conflict, reportedly offering Ragnar's fleets a payment of 7,000 livres of silver, approximately 2.5 tons. However, Frankish chronicles assert that Ragnar was defeated, succumbing to disease along with his men. In contrast, Danish records suggest that he continued his exploits by pillaging the Irish coast and establishing a settlement near Dublin, where he remained until his death in the mid-850s. During that era, certain literary works served as political propaganda, amplifying the perceived threat posed by Lothbrok to magnify the significance of any victory against him. Subsequently, sagas claimed that the mere mention of Ragnar Lothbrok's name instilled fear in his enemies. Following his demise, the tales of Lothbrok's formidable combat skills became even more embellished, contributing to the mythologization of his deeds and inadvertently blurring the distinction between reality and fiction. According to the Danish historian Saxo Grammaticus's Gesta Danorum, Ragnar Lothbrok was captured by Anglo-Saxon King Ælla of Northumbria after several raids in northwest England and was thrown into a pit of snakes to meet his demise. In his final moments, Lothbrok is quoted as saying how the little piglets would grunt if they knew how the old boar suffers, envisioning the vengeance his sons would exact. He also reminisced about past victories and anticipated joining slain Viking warriors in the feasting halls of Valhalla after his death. While this account is also found in later Icelandic works, such as Ragnar's saga Lothbrokar, and Thatar-Ragnar Sonum. Some historians propose that Ragnar Lothbrok met his end between 852–856 during a storm while voyaging along the Irish Sea, pillaging the coasts of Ireland. The death of Lothbrok served as a catalyst, motivating many of his sons to unite and form a cohesive alliance with other Norse warriors, culminating in the creation of the formidable Great Heathen Army. This army, comprising around 4,000 men, an unprecedented number for the time when armies typically consisted of mere hundreds, arrived in England in 865. There, they slew Edmund the Martyr and later King Ælla, marking the onset of Viking occupation in various regions of England. Thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Your engagement helps us grow and continue creating quality videos for you. See you in the next one.